Dr. Stephen Zuellig and members of the Zuellig family, members of the Diplomatic Corps, His Excellency Ambassador Ivo Schreiber, Switzerland, Ambassador Madame Malaviang Lao, EDR, former Ambassador Isari Manalo, Mr. Washington CSIP, Chairman Emeritus of the Asian Institute of Management, Dr. Stephen DeCray, the President of AIM, members, trustees, former Secretary Jesli Lapus, distinguished guests, friends, AIM colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the Asian Institute of Management. It is my pleasure to welcome you all and to open this program where we are going to recognize Dr. Stephen Zuellig, the man, his vision, and his legacy as a Filipino businessman, in his own words. It is fitting that we do this celebration of this man's accomplishments here at Asian Institute of Management, especially now that we are moving forward in rebuilding the Institute as we enter into the age of ASEAN. ASEAN, as you know, is entering into an economic community in 2015, and Dr. Stephen DeCray, our president, will be unveiling today some of those plans. The theme of rebuilding is a similar theme that we can also see in Dr. Zuellig's life. World War II destroyed F.E. Zuellig Inc. and much of the Philippines. But from this arose the opportunity to rebuild the country. And this Dr. Zuellig did with his brother, to create Zuellig into a much larger company that used the Philippines as a base and has since gone on into other parts of Asia. This is similar to what AIM intends to do in the next 3 to 5 years. To explain this, the future plans of the Asian Institute of Management, may I call on Dr. Stephen DeCray, the President of AIM.
Thank you, Mike. Magandang umaga. And good morning. Welcome, Dr. Zuellig. Welcome back, I should say, to campus. It's been many years, I understand. We're delighted that you're here. Some of what I'm going to share today is about our current activity and some about our future plans. So allow me to be rather brief, but rather comprehensive in my assessment of where AIM is headed. Many of you may know that I'm relatively new here. I've passed my 6-month probation, and I'm now entering my 7th month, and the work is getting done. We've been very busy so far. The first slide shows a vision statement that's been recently created, and as Dean Luz mentioned, we are focusing on ASEAN, with the connections of the ASEAN countries and the importance of the trading bloc. We believe AIM should be the expert in this region, already are, so we need to be the source for ASEAN talent, knowledge, and wisdom, which means intellectual property as well as talent. Now, the current management includes our founder, Wash Sisson. It shouldn't surprise any of you to know that he's still greatly engaged with the institution. And we see him at many events in our board meetings. Wash, welcome again today. Wash is the chairman emeritus. Next to him is our dean, Ricky Lim. Ricky has been dean for a little over a year now, preceded me, and is doing a terrific job. Polly Nazareno, CEO of PLDT, is our current chairman. He also happens to be a 1973 AIM alumnus. So we're delighted. In fact, many of his board members are also graduates, so there's a great alumni contribution in the board. And that other man you may recognize, luckily for Photoshop, I was able to get in on that picture, right? So that is myself. We do a bit of research here, and much of our research is done through our research centers. And you'll notice the listing here, which of course includes the Zuellig Center. We have 7, the newest of which is funded by Andrew Tan, which just happened over the summertime. But these are our centers of excellence that are aimed at research and connection to industry. And we have several more in mind in the future. We offer master's degrees. Master's degrees only, but several of them. Now we do have a plan to offer a DBA at some point in our future. We're discussing how to do that now, but we have at this point several master's programs, one of which is in a redevelopment stage. Our master's in management is being reviewed right now and will be coming back to us next year. Our executive education, much of it is custom. Companies come to us with their unique needs and we develop programs for them across Asia, in fact beyond. We're currently conducting a very important program for JP Morgan in India. So we do send our faculty out and about to offer executive education. Here are some of the countries that we did tailored programs for last year. Now there are many strengths, and this strength list I developed for a presentation I gave to an alumni group last week. We're very proud of being a pioneer. We have a strong pedigree with 2 leading Philippine institutions as well as the Harvard Business School. Founding in 1968, we have a long history in Asia and we have produced over 40,000 alumni. We are master's level, we are international in nature and independent. We are a private business school, which gives us a lot of opportunity for quick action and independence of government regulation. We happen to be in a great time of the Philippine economy. The uptick and the growth and the focus on governance has done nothing but benefit the business community here, which certainly benefits a business school. I'd like to take credit for the timing, but I came at the right time. We have a faculty and a staff who are poised for change. There have been some developments over the recent years that have not always been the best for AIM, and our faculty are ready to get back on track, and so we're moving them in that direction. You heard about the alumni on the board. Well, beyond that, with our 40,000 alumni, and I've traveled fairly extensively in Asia, meeting many of them, they are very enthusiastic and they're ready to help. In fact, just last year, a group of senior alumni developed a foundation to help with fundraising, which came at a very opportune time. Our 40,000 alumni are distributed like this. Certainly, about half of them are in the Philippines, which is a source of strength, but we have 11% in Indonesia, 11% in Malaysia, and you can see those other numbers. Many, many countries represented. In fact, we have some very senior alums in the U.S. whom I'll be visiting next week. I'm not going to take you through all of that, but I want to show you this, to show you the goals that we've been establishing in our quest for top 5 in Asia in 5 years. Now, why 5 years? Well, my contract is 5 years, right? We also have high goals. And the top 5 in Asia is very reachable for us if we stay on track. And these are some of the milestones that come from the leading schools in Asia already. I've been working in Hong Kong for the last 16 years at a leading business school. I've been in Asia all of those years. I understand the markets here, and 5 in 5 is very realistic. Bottom line for any business school is quality and reputation. We need to improve both at AIM, and we fully intend to. We are not profit-oriented. We are not a business. We are a business school. And what we care about most is reputation and quality. And And doing those properly will bring resources, I guarantee you. Now, our degrees are underpriced. Those of you in the audience paying our low tuition are benefiting from that. This will change over time. As our quality increases, so too will our price. In fact, as recently as next year, our MBA class will be paying $31,000 US from a $26,000 this year. We are still far below the leading schools in Asia. The strategic direction, ASEAN, has a couple of additions to it. ASEAN meaning the countries of ASEAN, or as one of my faculty says, ASEAN. I understand in the Philippines, ASEAN is more appropriate. I do both. I also wear suits and barongs, so I'm kind of an Asian, Western kind of person. We want to additionally focus on family corporations, entrepreneurship, and leadership. Now we're doing those three already, but we want to strengthen them. Innovation is very important for any business school, not only to participate in, but to preach. Here are two snapshots. This happened about 2 weeks ago. I happened to be inducted into the MAP here in the Philippines, and the topic was ASEAN 101. I think the business community is ahead of us. In fact, as I look around at business schools, none of them are focusing on the needs of the ASEAN integration, the businesses and the publics that will be making all of this happen. We want to be the expertise in that regard. So a quick shot of some data. The growth rates in ASEAN are impressive, including what's happening right here in the Philippines. Now you'll also note that the population of ASEAN is over 600 million people. Now that's a fair amount larger than the U.S. And when I worked there, we had over 1,000 business schools, many of them of national, international reputation. There is plenty of room in Asia for quality, top-flight business education, especially ASEAN. This is one of my favorite charts. I share it with my colleagues from the U.S., explaining to them why I remain and continue to be delighted to be in Asia. This is where things are happening. The growth rates here and the expansion and the need for business education has never been greater. The growth rates in the U.S. are starting to improve, but again, we are where the action is. ASEAN academic institutions have not been producing unique ASEAN-related content. The intellectual property in business schools mostly comes from the West. So there's a great opportunity for AIM to establish itself in that regard. Here's one of the strategies to put some meat to the bones of the ASEAN focus. We have a new class being developed called ASEAN 2015. It'll be offered to all of our programs. It'll also be offered to alumni over online. And this course will be an overview of what's necessary to do business in developing ASEAN. It'll be replacing a course that we used to call Asia Business Systems. I'm coordinating this course, but I have felt help from several of our very senior faculty who will be developing this unique course we've already begun. This course will produce written material in the form of a book that we've already proposed to Wiley, the publishers in Singapore. We're also planning, as I mentioned, to differentiate leaders management, entrepreneurship, and business, family business. Here's an opportunity I want to share, which is in line with our ASEAN focus. The Lippo Group, run by the Riyadi family, came to see us recently. They have universities in Jakarta. There is a very big gap in the opportunity for major business schools. There is not a top school operating in Jakarta, a country of 250 million people. The Lippo Group has invited us to Jakarta. We're now discussing what form the partnership would be. But the visit of the Riyadis and their senior university administration happened a few months ago. We've since been back to see them, and it's very likely we'll be offering the AIM Executive MBA in Jakarta. And it will be ASEAN focused and ASEAN oriented. We've had recent visits. In fact, one of my reasons for return to the U.S. is to follow up on the meeting with the Harvard Business School. They are actually quite interested in our DBA idea. Dean Nitin Nuria likes the fact that we're focusing on an executive DBA, which is very unusual. Harvard's originated the DBA years and years ago. They don't have an executive version. So we're going to follow up on that. Virginia, we have a relationship with. They are also a very renowned case school, as is AIM. And so writing cases together and collaborating on future programs is in our plans. New building proposal. Dr. Zuellig, as we walked through, said, this is all going to be knocked down. I said, well, not right now, but hopefully in the near future. We have a proposal from Ayala Land, which of course is one of the leading developers and the donor of the property we're sitting on, to redevelop this large piece of very valuable Makati real estate into co-use, a business school and a large complex for housing accommodation. The plot is over 10,000 square meters. There's plenty of room for both. In fact, by doing it properly, as the plans are developing, there will be more green space than there is now. So we're hopeful that this arrangement can happen. There's been a very active building committee. Actually, WASH is on that committee. The board has approved the concept, and we're waiting for the final offer this week or next. We hope to take it to the board in May. So we now turn to the Zuellig Center, one of our newer centers. In fact, I've been told, and I saw glimpses of the fact, that we have a special video prepared for this event today. So Dr. Zuellig, audience, members, ambassadors, stay tuned. We have an exciting show for you coming right up. By the way, thank you. Those are the end of my remarks.